First of all, I want to thank Francois for organizing this incredible meeting. I know how much effort it went and how nervous he's been over the last several months trying to be sure that everything was perfect. Francois, let me reassure you, everything is perfect. So thank you. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for the kind introduction. That was very sweet. So I am privileged to spend the next few minutes talking about a good friend and a colleague who I have been very lucky and fortunate to work with, Marianne Keenan. I'll tell you a little bit about how we ended up together, but more important to tell you about who she is. So Marianne is currently the founder and emeritus chief of Neuro-Orthopedics program at the Department of Orthopedic Surgery at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. As many of you know, she has retired from clinical care but continues to educate. She also holds an appointment as professor of orthopedics surgery at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine. And these two things are not so easy to say because she's been really an incredible person to be at the forefront, not only because she is a woman and recognizing that gender plays an important role in medicine, or at least has played an important role in medicine. She's really broken all sorts of barriers to be able to achieve this. Dr. Keenan attended the University of Pennsylvania, which is really one of the primary universities in the United States, highly recognized. She attended that school on a scholarship, something that it's quite unique. It talks about her intellect, it talks about her effort and her tenacity. And she was able to graduate from the program, the honors program, with a bachelor's degree in biology. She then went on to attend the Medical College of Pennsylvania, which was known in its origins as the Women's College. It was the very first school of medicine for women in the United States. And so you can see in the plaque that it was founded in 1850. Not that Marianne is old, that's not what I'm attempting to say, but the fact that she was able to join this really very select group of women and graduated from it, again, with honors from the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Society. She then went on to complete a residency training in orthopedic surgery. She did this at Albert Einstein Medical Center in Philadelphia. And while she was there, she spent some time at Moss Rehab. She met Nathaniel Mayer in his younger years. I tried to find a picture of Nat when he was in his younger years, because that's when Marianne met him. And he really was an inspiration to her. Marianne was really exposed for the first time to individuals with disabilities, primarily individuals with brain injuries, and who had all sorts of troubling problems. And Nat Mayer said, can you help me deal with some of these issues? And really encourage her to focus in this special area. So she decided after that to move to Rancho Los Amigos in Downey, California, where she met Dr. Jacqueline Perry and worked under her. She also completed a fellowship in joint replacement, which was really the reason she originally moved there, but then ended up working on reconstructive surgery. And I think this experience made us all better. She became certainly focused now, definitely in the important issues of individuals with disabilities that could be helped by neuro-orthopedics. And she returned to Philadelphia. We were very lucky that in 1990, she was given the position of chair of the Department of Orthopedics. She broke the glass ceiling. She was, for the very first time, a woman became chair of an academic department of orthopedics, something that had never happened. And she held that position until 1997. So I was very fortunate because that was when I became really a collaborator, and she became, in great part, my mentor. This occurred because we happened to have two hospitals that were sitting next to each other. She was working at Einstein, I was working at Moss, and we started to figure out that there was a lot of commonality. There were lots of things that we wanted to do together. And so we started to care for patients with neuro-orthopedic needs. At one point, we talked about the fact that it was wrong that I was in rehabilitation. I should move to orthopedics. And we actually had conversations about me changing departments so that this could happen and we could work more intimately. Things worked the way they work, and so she stayed in orthopedics and I stayed in PM&R. Next, please. And we were then on to create what we call IMED, the Institute for Mobility Evaluation and Treatment. And this was a concept that was unique when we started it. I don't think, I can't tell if we were the first, but we certainly were in the forefront. And we started to deal with patients who had all sorts of neuro-orthopedic needs. And I will tell you, it was an experience that was very, very incredible for us and for our patients. And I get emotional because I remember how we would, back and forth fight about, this is a surgical case, no, this is a rehab case. And, we would put an x-ray, we would look at the patient, and we would say, this is your case. And she would say, no, no, this is your case. And, it really became a collaborative approach. She was very trustful of me. She would also tell me, you go ahead, do whatever you think you need to do with this patient. You tell me what we need to do. Next. So we went on to develop truly a transdisciplinary team approach to care. And in the left side of the picture, you see Marianne with me. We are in the Gate Laboratory, and that's when we really started to say, how can we use these technology tools to help in working with these patients? Next to her is Dave Fuller, truly one of the very first mentees that she had, and then Nat Mayer proudly standing there. To the right, you see this was the very first group. It's the team in the brain injury group at Moss. And you see 3 surgeons embedded into the team, the surgical nurse. You see all the therapists, all of the physiatrists working there. So it was pretty amazing to see these groups develop and really adopt both the surgical part and the rehab concepts. Marianne became an incredible artist. She is not only a beautiful person, but an incredible technician. And she developed all these concepts about how to take problems that everybody thought were difficult to address and address them, from heterotopic ossification to thinking about processes of how to change the biomechanics. So it was pretty impressive. Next. So no doubt that Marianne Keenan has been a pioneer in the field of neuro-orthopedic surgery, performing all sorts of reconstructive musculoskeletal surgery, truly for thousands of people. She has made their lives better. She has made our ability to service them better because she's taught us many things. And so patients with stroke, brain injury, polio, and many other problems, she's been willing to take that challenge. So she moved to the University of Pennsylvania in 1998, a loss to my team, but certainly a gain to the field of orthopedics. She there became the very first woman to achieve the rank of professor in the Department of Orthopedics Surgery. And this was an incredible, incredible achievement, not only for the field, because it was the first time that a neuro-orthopedist had been recognized in this way, but also for the gender barriers that had been placed before. Next, please. She has done incredible research and really development. She's really been a thought process generating all sorts of different treatments, from the idea of moving the toe flexors into the calf in order to supplement weakness. She's published about all of the different things that she's done, finger fractional lengthening, biceps lengthening, all of these procedures that really have been pioneering in their development. She has been a great educator. If you haven't read one of her papers, if you haven't learned anything from one of her lectures, then I don't know where you are, because she's really been hugely productive. over 170 scientific papers, 50 textbooks, chapters, and lots of books. And she's just constantly pounding the road. She's been really all over the world trying to be sure that neuroorthopedics is learned. On the left side, there is Franco Molteni. We were at a meeting in Spain with Roser Garreta and others. On the lower side, you see her. She is taking notes, working with Nat Mayer on her free time, just assessing patients, trying to break the issues of difficult problems. And then at the top, when she actually climbed to Kilimanjaro, so nothing will stop her. Doesn't matter what it is, she'll go at it. Recognitions, she's had many recognitions, and I'm sure she's very proud of us recognizing her today. But just a few that I think are important. 1994, she was received the commendation, the Commonwealth Award for the most outstanding physician in Pennsylvania. She was the very first recipient of the annual Health Breakthrough Award from the Ladies' Home Journal. You know, it's a popular journal in the US. And then she was voted as one of the 75 greatest living Philadelphians. So not small achievements. Next. But she's a compassionate person, and I think her biggest assets cannot be captured in the lines of a curriculum vitae or this brief presentation. Her caring and compassionate nature, along with her dedication to her patients, her students, and the chosen field of neuroorthopedics, are but a sampling of what a wonderful individual she is. Her mentorship, nurturing, caring personality really is unique, and I am privileged to call her both a friend and a colleague. But really are the patients who can say this best, and I'm gonna, if you can pull that microphone, would you be kind? And I'll bring this back. And we'll just stick it right here, it'll be fine, right there. Thank you.
When I got the moss, bad shape. Dr. Keenan said, Dave, your left foot was like this, all bones and tendon. She made 13 cuts on my foot and made it like that. And moss got me back on my feet again.
So it really reflects that you know, this patients care about what she does. I love this one. You know, a patient who actually took Marianne as an angel. Not only that, but took her signature out of a prescription and had it inscribed permanently on her arm. It just talks about, you know, what patients feel about her. Next. So thank you, Marianne. Thank you for all you have done for our patients and for the field of neuroorthopedics. We wish you years of continued life, enjoyment, energy, and much kindness towards you. So thank you again, Marianne.
Thank you, Albert. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Professor Genet, for inviting me. It's quite an honor. And that certainly was lovely. But it's been really a lot of fun working with Albert and his team, and also many colleagues from around the world. So it's been fun to do. This is very challenging, very rewarding, and intellectually stimulating because you got to solve problems that were new, or thinking about them in a new manner in orthopedics. So I'm just delighted to see everybody here interested in this field, because at least in the United States, it's been a real uphill battle getting people to recognize these needs and taking the time to work with the patient. So thank you very much.